Hi. Well, here we are again in our wonderful walk-in cooler that keeps everything nice and cold. So why are we in here? We want to make sure that we have proper cold holding temperatures. So what does that mean, cold holding temperature? Well, all this food that's in here needs to be maintained at 41 degrees Fahrenheit or below. Now, I said all the food in here. Really what I mean is potentially hazardous food. Potentially hazardous food is food that could potentially grow bacteria if maintained at an improper temperature. And we know that if we can maintain this food in here at or below 41 degrees, then we should be okay with that. So why am I in here? I have my thermometer, and I'm just going to check the food just to make sure that we're at that proper temperature. You can see that the temperature is going down. 38, roughly about 38 degrees Fahrenheit. A very good cold temperature for potentially hazardous food. And very good in my mind as far as cold holding and proper cold holding within a cooler. So keep in mind that when you are holding food cold, it's a good idea to have your thermometer and check on a regular basis. In addition to that, you always need to have some type of thermometer unit inside the cooler, whether it's something, a digital reading outside, or for instance, one of these that's hanging on a shelf that will tell you, yes, this cooler is working properly and it's below 41 degrees. But keep in mind, just because the air in here says 41 degrees does not mean that you can just not test the food. You always have to test the food because it's the food that we're concerned about. So, just in summary, in order to make sure that your food is cold, you want to test it. What's the proper temperature? At or below 41 degrees Fahrenheit for your potentially hazardous food.
Lila Judd here from the City of Long Beach Bureau of Environmental Health. I'm talking to you today about cold holding temperatures. And just to review, what is the proper holding temperature for potentially hazardous food in your refrigeration? That's right, 41 degrees Fahrenheit and below. So here we are at our typical cook's line. We have our prep line cooler, easy access to all of our food items. We have our pull-out drawers that hold our food at 41 or below, right? And what's directly on the other side? We have here our cook's line. Hot source, you know, you got your grills, you got your range, hot food. So we take our food, cold, and we cook it up. And what's going to happen when we have these coolers wide open, we're opening and closing our drawers frequently to prepare the hot food. The hot meets the cold, and the hot's going to win. Hot food is going to, the heat is going to heat up our cold food temperatures. So anytime we're not actively preparing anything, you want to make sure to keep these coolers closed. It's just like leaving your refrigerator door open. And it's very important to maintain your refrigeration. Our food temperatures need to be 41 degrees or below, which generally means our cooler has to be set below that. Now, some of the common things that we hear are, it's a hot day, the kitchen is hotter because it's hot outside. So what do we do in that case? You got to adjust your coolers according to the outside air. Also, one thing you want to take into consideration is how often are you actually opening and closing. Frequency of use will determine how cold you have to set your coolers. And keep in mind that these coolers are not intended for storage. These are convenience coolers for easy access to food when you're actively preparing. They can always be restocked, but try not to overstock them because then all that food can potentially heat up in your preparation process. So keep a minimum amount here and restock as necessary.
Hi, I'm Cherry Cardero and I'm from Long Beach Environmental Health. I'm here to talk to you about proper hot holding temperatures. So what is proper hot holding temperatures? Proper hot holding temperatures is to maintain your potentially hazardous foods at 135 degrees or above. So let's look at this process more in detail. Here we are at a steam table where we can actively hot hold food at 135 degrees above. And I'm going to use my thermometer right now to take a temperature of this rice to see if it is being held at 135 or above. And as you can see, it's well over 135. So where does hot holding fit into this whole food handling process? Well, after you've cooked your food or reheated it properly, and you're not going to serve it immediately, you want to hold it hot at the proper temperatures. You want to hold it at 135 degrees Fahrenheit and above to maintain that bacteria doesn't grow or minimize the growth of bacteria, which can possibly cause foodborne illness. And the only way you're going to know that the temperature of your food is 135 and above is to use your handy dandy thermometer.